Saturday School by Lulu Delacre, 2017. Lulu Delacre is an author and illustrator of many award-winning children's books. Her writing often celebrates her Latinx heritage and promotes cultural diversity. This story describes a girl's first day at Saturday School to learn correct Spanish. As you read, take notes on what the narrator Sandra thinks and feels about her experiences in Saturday School. Ser valiente es tener miedo a quedarse sin hacer nada. I hate disappointing my parents. Education is important in my family. 3 of my grandparents are university professors, and my parents are a doctor and a writer. So the other day when Mama declared, "You need to learn correct Spanish, Sandra," I did what I always do, keep quiet. And now, even though I'd rather not go to Saturday school, I'm on my way to Escuela Argentina on this chilly January morning. Last Monday, I heard Mama talking on the phone with Abuela. Speaking and writing are 2 different things, Mama told Abuela. Sandra needs to read good literature and learn Spanish grammar. Abuela agreed and loudly ticked off the benefits of learning correct Spanish one by one. It would enrich my education. It would make me marketable. It could even find me the right husband. Really? A husband? I'm only 11. But the worst was when Abuela said that it would make me stand out in public school. I feel already singled out, not because I'm a straight-A student and won first prize at the science fair, but because I'm the only kid in the neighborhood elementary school whose parents speak Spanish at home. I was born in the United States, and my parents are from Puerto Rico. And although I speak Spanish with them, I'm much more comfortable speaking English. It's the language of my friends. I want to fit in with them, but I want to please my parents too. After an hour in the car, Mama takes the ramp off the Beltway onto a street lined with tall oaks and maples and manicured lawns and slows down before a huge lot with a double fence. I look twice. 2 fences on the same lot? I've never been to this part of the county before. I see a white wooden rail fence by the curb and a tall barbed wire one 20 feet in. It's almost like the people in there don't know whether to welcome you or shoo you away. I start biting my cuticles. "Te pasa algo?" Mama asked. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," I lie. I stare at the few castle-like houses set far apart from one another. Who are the kids who live in them? Are they friendly? I look down at my new red tennis shoes to make sure their laces are neatly tied. Mama pulls into the driveway of the glitzy private school, explaining that the Saturday school is held there. The main office is identified by a flag, sky blue and white, trimmed in golden tassels. Once we're inside, Mama introduces herself to the secretary. The lanky woman immediately starts talking in that form of Spanish that Abuela and Mama use. It's not the Spanish I speak at home, the one I read in the children's books my grandma from Puerto Rico sends. This is the other Spanish. I always thought it was a code language between Mama and Abuela. I feel a knot in my stomach. Is this the form of Spanish I'm supposed to learn? I can hardly understand Abuela. Mama turns to me after handing the signed paperwork to the secretary. Her eyes sparkle the way they do when she's particularly happy or proud about something. "Vas a aprender mucho aquí," she says. "You'll learn a lot. I can't wait to hear all about it when I come back at 2. She picks up her purse, ready to leave. I can feel the knot in my stomach tighten. I glance at the clock on the wall. It's 9 a.m. I want to tell Mama that I don't want to stay. I have a bad feeling about all this. Maybe I could go back home and do all the chores I've been putting off? Just this once, I'm going to stand up for myself. I take a big breath that makes me feel strong and sure and ready, just like a knight in shining armor. Mama speaks first. "I'm proud of you," she says. And her words make my invisible armor crumble all the way to the floor. I fake a smile, say goodbye, and follow Mama with my eyes as she walks away to her car. Now I'm trailing the skinny secretary down a long hallway and up some stairs to the 2nd floor. At the top of the stairs, she points to the corner classroom, room 25, and leaves. Am I supposed to go in by myself? From where I stand, I can hear rowdy kids inside that room. I place one foot in front of the other, making the long walk last longer than it should. until I reach my classroom and peer inside. There's a large poster board with a map of the Americas dotted with the places of origin of my classmates. It seems like most of them are from Argentina. Do they all talk like the secretary and abuela? I hope not. The kids are so loud that I can barely make out what they are saying. Here, boys are trading soccer cards. Here, girls are poring over pictures of a birthday party they all seem to have attended. It's like these kids have known each other for years and years. I feel a little sick. I want to call Mama, but I remember the excitement in her eyes right before she left. I can do this, I say to myself. I spot a tanned girl with straight amber hair pulled back by a wide plaid hairband and approach her. ¿Tú sabes dónde me siento? I ask, looking around for a seat. The girl looks at me, puzzled. ¿Y vos? ¿Cómo te llamas? I pause, trying to understand her question. My throat gets dry. I can feel both the girls and her friend staring at me. Me llamo Sandra, I say. The group of girls start to giggle. I take a step back and lean against the wall, wanting to fade into it. I listen with all my senses, trying to understand what I've said or done wrong. All I've said is my name. And then I know why the girls laughed. It's because of how I pronounce the words in Spanish. Loud steps announce the teacher at the door. Buenos dias, chicos, the teacher greets the class. Buenos dias, Señora Peña, the students answer in unison. Señora Peña looks like she's been out sunbathing for many years. Her large gold earrings dangle from her wrinkled earlobes. She looks my way and straightens. Che, Mauricio, encontrarle un puparita a la chica nueva, ¿quieres? Señora Peña asks a boy while gesturing toward me. I figure the teacher is asking him to find me a seat. Encontrarle, ¿quieres? I repeat these words to myself. ¿Sos Sandra, no? Señora Peña asks. Encontrarle, ¿quieres? ¿Sos? What is it about these words? They are verbs. It dawns on me what the teacher and kids are doing that is different. They are conjugating the verbs all wrong. It's not the way Mama taught me, back when I first learned to read. I was 4 then, and I remember that the Spanish textbook was written in the Spanish we spoke at home. Could it be that I've learned incorrect Spanish all along? Seated at the corner desk in the last row, I pay close attention in class. I want to do well. I'm used to it. The teacher distributes copies of a story. She asks us to read it in silence. At least the story is in the Spanish familiar to me and I understand everything. Then Señora Peña calls on the students to read aloud. One by one, the kids read the sentences in that peculiar sing-song way Abuela has. They pronounce the words they read in a different way than me, or most of the people I've heard speaking Spanish do. When it's my turn, I rise and try to mimic my classmates' pronunciation. But this slows my reading. I can tell that Señora Peña is losing patience. Gracias, Sandra, Señora Peña says. Thank you. Maybe you can practice reading at home. Some kids start to giggle. I've never felt this dumb. I feel my ears turning red. Mira sus orejas, I hear a boy yell. Look at her ears. Mauricio. The teacher reprimands the boy. I pull my hair over my ears, wanting to disappear under my desk. The teacher begins to ask questions about the story. I know all the answers, but I'm terrified to raise my hand. I don't want to be mocked for how I speak. So I spend the rest of the morning in silence, wishing for time to pass. The lunch bell finally rings, and all the students storm out the door. Sandra, vení a almorzar. Señora Peña calls me to follow her to lunch. But then another teacher comes searching for Señora Peña, and I'm left stranded by myself. I stand still for a moment, not knowing what to do. Then I venture into the hall. My stomach is growling. I'm so hungry. I look one way, then the other. I have no idea where the cafeteria is, and I'm afraid to ask anyone for directions. I walk to the end of the hall, trying to follow the trail of voices, but I find myself at a dead end. Then I go down the stairs, passing by the main office, but the cafeteria doesn't seem to be there either. The cavernous building begins to feel more and more like a maze. I cry. Angry tears burn my cheeks in the middle of the empty hallway while I walk aimlessly. By the time the smell of pizza and hot dogs finally leads me to the cafeteria, lunch is already over. That afternoon, I wait to be picked up. I feel utterly alone. The minute Mama pulls up, I run to the car. I have never felt this thrilled to see Mama. It looks like someone had a good day, Mama says. Cuéntame. Tell me about it. You liked it, right? I look into Mama's eyes and see the usual sparkle of pride. So I give in, again, wanting to please. Yes, I say. Cuéntame, cuéntame, Mama pleads, wanting to hear the details of my day. Well, I start. I wish there was something I could do to get out of attending Saturday school. And as we drive past the lot with the two fences, it occurs to me that someone might see the white fence and never notice the barbed wire one. We stop at the red light. Vos no sabes lo que aprendí yo, I say, mimicking the sing-song way of speaking that they have at the Saturday school and conjugating the verb abuela's way. Mama turns to me. Why are you speaking as if you were from Argentina? Asks Mama. And I think again of the two fences, and that maybe there are times when you need to point out the hidden one to others. I will have the courage this time. I don't want to return. That is how they teach me Spanish, Mama, I say. Then I tell Mama how the kids made fun of the way I speak, and how I was afraid to raise my hand. I tell her how I wish there was another way to learn correct Spanish. Mama says nothing, but I notice she's upset. I start picking my cuticles. I hope Mama is not too angry with me. We're entering our neighborhood when Mama speaks again. I had no idea they would all be speaking Argentinian Spanish. I should have inquired about this. It's my fault. No wonder you felt out of place. I want you to learn the Spanish most people use, the Spanish I learned in school in Puerto Rico, the written Spanish widely used by Spanish-speaking countries. We'll find another way. We will? I ask, amazed that I stood up for myself and didn't anger Mama. We could read together, Mama says. We could start our own Spanish book club, I say. Mama pulls into the driveway, shifts the car into park, and turns to look at me. She has that sparkle in her eyes. And I think my eyes are sparkling too.